Good morning. My name is Parole Officer Bryant. Today is Wednesday, June 24, 2026, and this is a hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. The following board members are present this morning and by stating their names on the record certify that they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
Aileen Keys.
Good morning, panel member Barry.
Deborah Smith Palmieri.
Also attending is the board psychologist. Please state your name and inmate number for the record.
Tyler VC 437672.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Tyler VC, inmate number 437672. He's serving a sentence of 20 years execution suspended after 6.5 years, with 20 years of probation to follow for risk of injury to the child and sexual assault second. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of August 19, 2026. There's no victim input in this case. There's an offender accountability plan. It's been reviewed and shows the offender has completed the short track problem sexual behavior program and is currently assigned to a job within the facility. He remains on the waiting list for an educational referral, a job assignment, a vocational referral, and the Voices program. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the low range of risk for recidivism. Utilizing the static 99R, the offender's overall score for sexual offense recidivism falls within the low moderate range. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here today. I want to start off by apologizing to the victim and the victim's family for the unimaginable pain that I have caused. There isn't enough words or time in the day to express how sorry I am for the love I've broken, trust, and disappointment I've caused by my actions. I'm embarrassed and ashamed of myself. That is not the person I am, and there is no excuse to justify what I did. It was wrong, and I absolutely regret it. Over the past 32 months, I've had a lot of time to reflect, focus on my rehabilitation, and become self-aware. I've been able to grow so much as a person. The help from the DOC has been phenomenal, and I can't thank everyone here enough for the help I've received to show me how and what it takes to be a better person. I've been able to learn and recognize faulty thinking patterns, how to deal with negative emotions, and learn to communicate in a positive way, which has helped me remain disciplinary free throughout my entire incarceration. Going through the DOC programs, it was very tough at first, not feeling comfortable talking about my crime. But as I continued to attend, talking about it helped me to heal from it. Learning about how faulty thinking, negative emotions, and not communicating in healthy ways had caused so many problems in my life and led up to my crime has been very critical in my rehabilitation. I'm so thankful for the help from the DOC in guiding me down a new positive, healthy, successful path. Throughout my incarceration, I've not only been able to focus on myself and my rehabilitation, but also I've been able to help others through the carpentry vocational education class. I've been able to take the skills I've learned through the trade of welding and share that knowledge with others to help them grow and learn a career that they can be successful in. Carpentry has been such an amazing class. Not only have I learned so much to help me grow in my career of welding, but also to help at home with remodeling projects, roofing, CNC work, etc. I've also learned how to better communicate with others. Throughout the 2 years in carpentry class, I have grown as a person and was given a position as a technician. A tech works alongside the teacher and is responsible for helping others in class with any questions, any assistance they may need with their projects, and being trusted to pass out tools to other inmates. My main responsibility was the CNC machine, where we would design the job on the computer and carve it into wood. Some of the projects consisted of signs for the kitchen here in McDougal, retirement plaques for officers and lieutenants, and assisting the other students with any jobs they wanted to create. While attending the carpentry class and DOC programs, I was able to secure a job as a tierman in the unit, cleaning showers and helping sweep and mop the floor every day for over a year. After moving units to a working block, which is mostly people working first, second, and third shift, I had to give up the chairman job, but I was able to take a step forward to a more responsible job of working third shift cleaning the main concourse hallways, which I'm still currently doing. I enjoy cleaning and I'm proud of the work I've done, waxing, buffing, and keeping the hallways here presentable. I've had a lot of time in the cell where I've learned to take on artwork as a form of therapy, which has been a very calming thing for me. I've learned to design, draw, paint handkerchiefs and cards for holidays and special occasions. I was also able to learn about an outside company called ACCI Cognitive Life Skills, which offers self-help, self-learning programs that I've been able to purchase and have mailed in. I have completed the cognitive awareness, offender correction, and personal responsibility courses. I've also been able to sign up and attend a meditation program that meets every Friday night. I've been part of the meditation group for over a year, and it has been a great help in showing me how to be mindful in everything I do, and it's given me a different perspective on everyday life. Throughout my incarceration, I've been blessed to have the support from my fiance, mom, my family, as well as my fiance's family and friends. I'm also grateful to my former employer for rehiring me back full-time upon my release. They have never given up on me and always pushed me every day to be the best version of myself. They constantly come for visits, message me, and answer the phone every time I call. My support will continue outside of my incarceration. I have a safe and loving place to live at my grandfather's house with my mom, stepdad, and fiance. I will have reliable transportation to and from work as my stepfather also works at the company I will be working for. And I will also have transportation to and from any programs, therapy I do from my fiance, my mom, stepdad, and grandfather. I have many goals set from small things such as opening a bank account, continuing therapy, groups, programs, building my credit, saving money, to big goals like purchasing a vehicle, getting married, and buying a house. I know I can be successful moving forward. I know saying sorry can be easy for anyone to say, but my conduct moving forward will show how sorry I am and how I am a better person. I would like to help others as well, whether it be in a group setting or taking some of the skills I've learned in the carpentry program and volunteer to build houses for organizations like Habitat for Humanity or Houses of Heroes. Even if it's just talking to people in need and sharing my experiences in hopes it can help someone else not go down a similar path that I did. I can't control my past, but I have control of my future, and I want to show the world I'm not who I once was, and I'm a better person and will be a positive member in society. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Vesey, for your opening statement. We really appreciate that. I think you covered a lot of ground. At this time, we're going to ask you a few questions. We'll begin today with panel member Barry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So Mr. Vesey, is it Vesey?
Correct.
Thank you. I appreciate your opening statement. Thank you for taking time to prepare that statement for us. You did cover a lot of ground. It sounds as if you have really thought about your future and you're optimistic about your life as you go forward. And I'm glad to hear that DOC was able to help you gain a better understanding of your offense and you are now able to recognize that your distorted thinking or your stinking thinking, some people say, is what led you to be here. So I appreciate all of that information. A quick review of your file indicates that you're a low risk to recidivate. You have not received any disciplinary infractions since you've been in a facility. You are also working, as you stated in your opening comments, and you have no other criminal history. This is your only criminal conviction. Now, so let's talk about this criminal. Let's talk about your conviction. So, this offense was against a child, and I heard you talk about the family. In your opening statement, you said you apologized to the victim and to her family. Is that right?
Correct.
So tell me how you think your crime has impacted her family.
I grew up with them, and I hurt them with the trust that they had given me, and it's disappointing, and it's disgusting, and I really hurt them, and I emotionally hurt them just by everything I did, and I'm deeply sorry for all of it.
Okay, and so your father is married to the victim's mother. Is that right?
I'm 99% sure their divorce has been finalized, I think a few years ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Do you think that this offense had anything to do with their
I do.
relationship?
I do.
So do you think that, so you won't have any kind of contact with this victim going forward because now your family bond is now done. It's ended.
Correct.
And you said that you felt embarrassed and ashamed and that you regret your actions. Tell
Correct.
me, do you know why you committed this offense?
Just faulty thinking patterns and feeling lonely, and I was just in such a dark place.
And so when you're feeling lonely in the future, we all feel that way sometimes, depending on where we are in life. So I'm interested in knowing how you'll handle that, because it's my understanding, according to my review of the file, it says that your dad was sick and that you were forced to be the man of the house. And so you took on all these extra responsibilities. I'm not sure that they were put on you, but you you took ownership of that role. And so that led to stress. Why, so I'm asking these questions because I'm just trying to make sure that should you be faced with similar responsibilities or feel that way, what do you think you could have done differently?
I think I could have communicated in a lot healthier way and expressed how I was feeling. I also could have went to therapy, and I'm going to continue therapy upon my release. If I ever feel like I'm in that type of a position where I'm feeling lonely or starting to go down that dark path, I'm going to reach out to my therapist, and I'm going to surround myself by my support from my fiance and my family to help keep me guided down that positive, healthy path.
I appreciate that. And so you spoke a few times about your faulty thinking. Tell me tell me a little bit more about that. Your faulty thinking. What were some of the things in your mind that were faulty thoughts?
That what I was doing was okay, and that was how you show love to somebody. That it was okay to go lay in bed with my little sister at that age, and it's not. It's absolutely not.
So you said that you believe that that's the way that you show love. Did someone show love to you that way?
This has happened to me when I was younger, but obviously that was something that was in my head that made me think that it was okay. And
Okay, I'm gonna stop you, Mr. VC, because I did read about your abuse, and my sympathy goes out to you, because I don't think any child wants to experience that. And they shouldn't have to be honest. But I'm just curious because it was only certain individuals that showed you love that way. Your mother didn't show you love that way, right?
no,
Yeah, your father didn't show you love that way. So why would you think that that was a way of showing love?
it was the faulty thinking that I had, and it was horrible. I mean, it was a horrible thing that was in my head, and there's no excuse. There's no excuse to justify it. It was sick thinking.
Yeah, I just, because the two just don't align, I mean, because you've had other examples of love, so
Correct.
to say that that's the way that you would show love, I mean, I would go on to ask, like, then if that were the case, why would you do it at night while she was asleep? How would she know that you were showing her love when she was asleep?
Right.
I don't understand that rationale. Let's move forward. When you were interviewed by the parole officer, one of the questions that he asked was something that you think would be a potential risk for you.
Mm.
And you said bringing a child to the bathroom. I want to know, why would that be a risk?
I honestly, it was a question that I just on the fly answered because I hadn't had time to think about it and I didn't really understand how to answer it. I wasn't sure if it meant as far as reoffend with my crime or reoffend just in general with becoming reincarcerated. But as the more time I reflected on it and I thought about it more and more, I mean, it like I said earlier, it would be more so of if I was starting to feel lonely and go down that dark path and start having horrible thoughts like that again, I would reach out to my therapist immediately and lean on the support from my support system at home to help keep me guided.
So like an isolated feeling, a feeling of isolation, like of hopelessness, or that you
Correct.
didn't have alternatives. Okay, that's much better than taking a child to the bathroom, because that would make me believe
Absolutely.
that there's some sort of attraction, that you don't trust yourself around children.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm curious, you know that because you are now a convicted sex offender, you will not be permitted to be around children. How do you intend to handle that moving forward? 20 years of probation, sex offender registry for 10 years, it's a long time. How do you intend to navigate that?
It's definitely going to be a difficult journey for sure, but I'm going to just keep putting one foot in front of the other and move forward. I mean, I know it's going to be a difficult path, but I got to think back to everything I've been working on in here on myself and my self-awareness, and just if it comes to be where I'm somewhere and a minor arrives, then I have to remove myself. I have to leave. And that's something I've thought about a lot, especially if I'm at a family gathering or a party or wherever, even at a park. You know, I'm going to have to remove myself, and I'm fully aware of that.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to go to parks, so that's where children,
Right.
are. But yeah, it's important that you think about those things, because the last thing you want to do is be violated for being in contact with minors. I just have a few more questions, and then I will turn the hearing back over to the chair. We did receive a number of letters of support on your behalf, and so it's good to see that you have positive community support. We've heard over and over again that that type of resources in the community, having those people you feel like you can speak to openly and honestly, helps with reintegration back into the community and help reduces recidivism. So I am curious to know what you've told the people, your support system, about your crimes, because a lot of it, in reviewing your file, you really seem to minimize what you've done. For example, when you were interviewed by the officer, you said you were trying. I didn't print it out, so I don't have the exact language, but you said something about trying to do something to the victim and he had to correct you. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Very little bit. I'm not 100% sure.
We tried touching her. Yeah, tried. Yeah, it was something like that. Okay. So I'm curious to know what your family knows about this. I want to make sure that they have a clear understanding of what transpired between you and this person.
Yeah, my fiance knows what happened. My mother knows what happened. My stepfather knows that I admitted to it. I don't think they know the extent of the details, but I know my fiance does. And that's something I've worked on myself of trying to express, because I mean, it's definitely not an easy thing to talk about. Like I said, I'm ashamed of it, but I know speaking about it also helps me heal from it too.
Okay, that's good, because if things, God forbid, don't work out with you and your fiance, you will have to explain why you're on this registry and why you have to report to probation to someone else. I'm not
Absolutely.
putting that on, I hope your relationship is successful, but you have to think of things, and speaking openly and honestly about them is a step in the right direction. So I'm glad to hear that. My last question has to do with the impact that your actions had on this victim. how do you think this has affected her life moving forward as so young, having experienced this?
Drastically. The trauma that I've caused, I'm sure feels a lot of insecurities, and I'm shameful. I really am. It definitely hurt her emotionally. It's wrong, and I am beyond sorry for what I did. I really truly am.
I think we understand that you've expressed your remorse, so I know that you're sorry for what you've done. But I'm trying to get a little deeper into the impact that your actions had directly on her. So you talked about trauma, insecurity, and physical and emotional damage. So let's dig a little deeper into that. So that means that perhaps she will be fearful of men moving forward, or have some kind of reluctance to be trusting of men. So the trust
probably caused a lot of trust issues in her future with relationships, and her relationships aren't going to be as easy as a normal situation would be for her. And like I said, I'm sorry for all of it. It's going to be a lot for her, and I wish I could go back and undo the things I did, and I can't.
And one of the things that, you know, there was a discrepancy about in your file is she said it happened several times. You said it happened only 2 times. And so if in her mind, and I don't know, I wasn't there, this happened multiple times. I think she may be feeling like, why did he pick me? You know, this was supposed to be my brother. I looked at him like a brother. What made him think that, you know, this was okay to do it to me? This is something that I done. You know, victims can sometimes take ownership of other people's behavior, just like you took ownership of being the man of the house, you know?
Right.
So those are all things too that you should consider. And, you know, I know that you probably won't see her again. There's a protective order against you. And so, you know, for several years, 73, but maybe write down. I mean, an apology goes a long way. Other than just saying, I'm sorry. I mean, a meaningful apology helps that healing process for her. So, okay. Thank you. Thank you for answering my question, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Panel Member Berry. Just along those lines, I was thinking as well, just that she is, you know, I don't want to say assume her feelings, but think about the conflicting feelings where you guys did have this sibling relationship, and so there's probably missing some sorts of big brother, and it's just a shame that you guys don't have that relationship anymore, and that's been lost. But hopefully she can heal as best as possible, and hopefully you can heal, and you can both live happier, successful lives. I just wanted to check one thing. My colleague did an excellent job with her questions. I just wanted to follow up on something in your opening. You had talked about having this job offer, and I didn't see evidence of an actual offer in the file, but you're saying that you are having visits and phone calls with the prior employer?
So I talked to him on a semi-regular basis. There was a letter that was sent in with all the support letters. It was actually on a company header from Welding Works. That is Ross McCartney. He's the owner or president of Welding Works. He was the one that had said about coming back to work and hire me back immediately.
Yes, thank you. Yes, sorry, we received 18 letters, and so yes, I'm sorry. No, I mean, that's good. It does show, as my colleague mentioned, does show lots of support. So I apologize. I think I wrote that note before I reviewed all of the letters. So, but I do have his name written down. I did write down all of the names of everybody that wrote letters, and I did review them, but I must not have changed that question. I apologize. All right, that's it.
So the company is within 5 minutes of where I would be living. So I mean, it's in the same town right down the road.
I did see that. I did look that up. Thank you. And you have transportation, you said, so you can use
Correct.
that
My
out.
stepfather also works there.
Excellent. All right. That's all I have for questions. I'll see if my other colleague has any questions, panel members. Okay.
I do not have any questions. You and panel member Barry covered all the necessary information.
Okay.
Thank you.
Excellent. All right. So we have no further questions. So at this time, we're going to begin our deliberations. You're welcome to listen. Just please don't interrupt, and then we'll have our decision for you soon after. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Panel member Barry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Mr. VC, you know, cases such as his always, it's always unfortunate. There is no winner in these cases. See so many times offenders who have experienced similar crimes for them kind of reenact what some of the things that they experienced on other people. We never really understand why they would inflict that kind of feelings that harm on another person, but you know, that's something that they're going to have to work. Mr. VC is going to have to work through, but we'll never understand. It will never be okay. I think that he has really expressed a tremendous amount of remorse for his, he has taken ownership of his crimes. He's taken the appropriate programming to address his behavior, and he even started that before he was incarcerated. I think we talked a little bit about his thinking that this is a way of love, and I don't think he really made the connection until we started talking about it. That, you know, you've had other people showing you love that didn't do it in this way. So hopefully when he's out in the community and treatment, he will gain a better understanding of why he did what he did. And forward, he has positive community support, he has job aligned, he has stable housing in place, and his sentence is not over until 2029. So he's going to be with us for a long time. The only conviction, as I stated. So I would like to have seen him complete the Voices program. It's not absolutely necessary. So I would be in support of discretionary parole today. He has community support. He's considered a low to moderate risk to recidivate with crimes such as this. We even talked about the bathroom thing, which was very concerning to me.
Before I came in, I got laid off my last day. What's up?
Clarification for that. So based on our discussion and everything that I've read, I think that he is a suitable candidate for discretionary. So I would support.
Great. I do as well. And he would have to complete the community program, which will further dive into the issues I think Voices would have worked on as well.
Yeah, I agree with both my colleagues. And the only other thing that I would add is, you know, he did the summary from his short-term sex offender treatment program does note that in their view, he gained insight into his behavior, identified internal, external risk factors, and was able to talk about those cognitive distortions, which I think puts him in a really good place to go out and continue treatment in the community. So, and with all the support that's already been noted, I think he's a suitable candidate.
And so for conditions, no contact with victim, AV, behavioral management program for problem sexual behavior, no contact with minors without proper permission.
Yep, that's all I have.
That's all I have. Anything else?
I had nothing else.
Okay. In the matter of Mr. VC, inmate number 437672, there is a motion to grant discretionary parole on or after August 19th, 2026 with the following conditions in addition to the standard conditions. No contact with the victim, initials AB, behavioral management program for problem sexual behavior, and no contact with minors without the parole officer's permission. Do I have a second?
There's a second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? None. The ayes have it. Mr. VC, you have been granted discretionary parole. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
This concludes the hearing for Tyler VC, inmate number 437672.
You're all set, sir.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you too.
I don't know, you didn't have people pay for you up here, but I make sure you go down now. I let you know. time because I was recently like unemployed, but now I think he's eligible for it, so I'm gonna like trying to find before I got out of here. Vivo, VINVO. Yeah, Vivo Bakery. They're a conglomerate. They own Thomas English Muffins, Sara Lee Brand, Arnold Brand. It's a Mexican restaurant company, but they pretty much own everything. Yeah. There's someone with the teddy bear. So she wanted to change it. That's the actual Vivo, but they own everything. Okay. It's about, yeah. Over 3 years, every 3 years, probably a little longer. No. My son actually turned 17 next week. Yeah, the birthday. Yeah. You're, they live in, Oakville, Connecticut, on Parole Ave.
Do you have any communication with them?
Oh, yeah, I talk to my son all the time. Her, I know we had not a criminal like restraining order, but like he would take me back to child support court, so she put like a civil restraining order against me to kind of make me look bad. Yeah, so we have one of them. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
years ago,
Good morning.
but
My name is Parole Officer Brian. Today is Wednesday, June 24th, 2026, and this is a hearing of the Connecticut Board of Parole and Paroles. Following board members are present this morning, and by stating the names on the record, certify they include all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
Aileen Keyes, good morning.
Morning, panel member Barry.
Deborah Smith Palmieri?
Also attending is the board psychologist. Please state your name and inmate number for the record.
Taiwan Edwards, 296-702.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Taiwan Edwards, inmate number 296-702. He's serving a sentence of 10 years with 10 years of special parole and bonding. Robbery, first, 2 counts of violation of probation, interfering and resisting, racing on the highway, and larceny second. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of August 2nd, 2026. There's no victim input in this case. There's an offender accountability plan that's been reviewed that shows the offender has completed anger management, voices, domestic violence, tier 2, and the New Thoughts program. He remains on the waiting list for an addiction services referral, an educational referral, a job assignment, a vocational referral, and an embracing fatherhood program. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the high range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Good morning.
yeah, we together up in.
I know that freedom is more than doing what you want, saying what you want, going wherever you want. Real freedom is about responsibility. It's about doing what's right, never mind how you feel or how you react negatively to a situation. For me, this journey has been a tough one, but I embraced it wholeheartedly because I think if it wasn't for me receiving this time and going through the trials and tribulations that I've conquered throughout this process, I wouldn't be able to become the man that I am today. For me, it's bigger than freedom. I think today is about accountability and redemption. It's not about being accountable for this situation alone. It's for me, it's going back to childhood and finding the root cause of what made me who I am before I received the sentence. And doing so, when it comes down to facing your reality, I think that's one of the hardest things that a person can do, which is why recidivism is really high. Because coming behind these walls, it takes a lot for an individual to sit with himself, to reevaluate where he has gone wrong throughout his life, starting from childhood. A lot of times we hold on as men, from where I come from and talking about myself, we hold on to these emotions and these things and these experiences where we don't find the resources to get the proper help. For me, I always lived with illusion by thinking that I didn't need no help. I always blame society, blame my mom for not doing what I wanted her to do, while failing to understand that she did the best that she can do. And we hold on to these illusions to adulthood, and we start making all type of drastic or radical decisions. For me, I felt like I had to go through everything that I've been through in life to be saved today, and that's dealing with situations where I should no longer be on earth, from being shot and from doing security and being shot point blank range in the head, to making stupid decisions.
Thank you. It sounds like you've done a lot of thinking and during your time there, and you've really done some self-analysis. And I think some of our questions might get to that. And we've definitely received all the information you had shared with us in advance and reviewed a lot of that. You've done a lot of thinking, and you and your fiance or girlfriend.
She's about to be, she's gonna be my wife the first day we got it set up to go to the church.
Yeah. So if you want to just, for this first question, if you can just tell us why you think you are ready for parole, why you think you should get parole today.
I only think that I should get parole under one circumstance. And that circumstance is that I now understand what life is all about and really know how to live life and be productive in society, because I have been able to self-evaluate. And if you look at the brochure, there are 8 core principles that I carry with me today. And those 8 core principles are leadership, accountability, respect, personal growth, community empowerment, purpose, discipline, and confidence. And that's what I'm going home to teach to these kids that will be a part of my program. And that's the only way that a person will respect life and make the best choices moving forward.
Great, thank you. So thank you for that opening statement. I do appreciate that. We are going to move on to asking some additional questions. Today, we're going to begin with me, and then my colleagues will have the opportunity to ask questions that they have as well. So what you have talked about, so I did mention that we had received all the documents, and there's a lot of information that was shared, so thank you for that. The different businesses, just business proposals, the programs, the clothing line, and proposed contracts with investors. In your letter, you also shared a letter. You described the transformation you went through during the sentence, which I think you just kind of started talking about a little bit. And you declare that it's been 2 years since your last ticket. When was that letter written?
The letter was written in October of last year, before I caught those tickets.
Okay, I was going to say, okay, last year. Okay, so can you tell us what led to receiving the tickets that you received since that letter was written?
All right, so the first ticket that I received was intoxication for THC, and I admitted and received my consequences. But for me, at the time, dealing with self-reflection and trying to change your habits and your thought process, it comes with dealing with a lot of past trauma while trying to address the issues that I needed to address. And I indulged in marijuana, and there's no excuse why I did that. I did. I think I got bad anxiety, and so that's what I have no reason, like no excuses on why I did it. I just did it.
getting money.
Okay, because yeah, it is, a little concerning for us because, we want to make sure, that you're ready. And then I know you want to really help youth, and you have to be in a place where, you have really, we're all still doing our self-work, but that never ends, but all of us. But we want to make sure that you're in a place where you're really ready, and this isn't going to be something where you want to go out into the community and then something happens because you weren't quite ready, and then you end up coming back, and, that would be more harmful.
One thing about this is this experience has molded and shaped me for greatness. I will never come back behind these walls because only for one reason, that it's a true fact that they said life is only 10% of what happened to you and 90% of how you respond to it. So it's just my response. My response had to become to where I'm not carrying no ego, no pride, and I'm able to make the right decision, at the right time. I embrace my past wholeheartedly. I have no excuses for why anything happened, even if, someone else was the starter. I know in each situation, I've learned what I could have did better. And
Okay.
my response.
Yeah, so you have received 14 DRs during this sentence, most of which are violent and related to using THC or possessing a marijuana. So can you talk about, and again, so you had the intox last November after the letter was written, and then the second one that we were referencing earlier was for fighting.
Yes.
And few of your violent tickets involve using a weapon, which we actually don't see much. But 3, as far as that we had records of, and there may have been more that we didn't have in the file, but involved using a weapon in the facility.
So may I interject? So if you see my size, like I'm 380 pounds, and I don't need a weapon for no one else. But in the process of the altercation, other individuals had weapons coming against me, and I was just the disarmer of taking a weapon from the individual on those occasions. I don't need a weapon at all to, have a fist fight. But with my size, a couple of times I was in danger, like with the sock and the lock. They wrote the ticket, but at the same time, I got stabbed in the eye with an object before he produced the lock and the sock. So I was holding my eye from being injured and stabbed in the eye because he had 2 weapons. So I just disarmed him. So when I'm disarming them, I'm the one that got the weapon, and that's how that happened every time. And it's day.
Can you help us understand why people are wanting to attack you with weapons?
Well, for me, right at first, I didn't really do the science to me. I had to self-evaluate and understand that when I walk into a room where people are already intimidated just by my size and hair, and you're dealing with people that are not trying to grow and deal with redemption and accountability like me. So, and here, a lot of people be on worse drugs, and they mind be different. So it's not understanding that I have the option to walk away. That's the main thing for me, like having the option to walk away, making that decision to walk away. You know what I mean? But I felt like there's a couple of times that my life was in danger, especially when I got stabbed in the eye. But full accountability.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you for answering that. I know difficult questions. You had talked about quite a bit in the materials that we reviewed about taking accountability, and you mentioned it in your opening statement as well. But then reading your descriptions of the crimes, you denied really being part of it and just kind of being there, but not really involved. Can you tell us, with regard to the crimes you're currently serving your sentence for, what your role was, what you took accountability for?
They said that you are first guilty of knowing about a crime and not reporting it to the police, first of all. So for me, I may not have been there, but I was aware. I was aware of the incident. And with the situation with the fingerprint, I know that where these zip ties came from, and I was just going to use my shoulder length to have my lawyer measure the individuals that went through a doorway, and knowing that my shoulders I would have to turn to the side, I just chose to plead guilty because I was guilty. I knew about it. I didn't report it. I knew about it, and that was that.
Okay, so for the armed robbery of the T-Mobile store, where 3 employees were forced into the back room and they were trying to close up, told to lie on their stomachs and zip tied.
I could have got 8 years in jail.
You're saying you were not there?
I was not at the location, but I knew about the incident happening.
Did you know before the incident?
Yes. And yes.
Okay. And then the larceny.
I was guilty of receiving stolen property. And when you in the streets, if somebody gives you something that's valuable, 100% of the time, you know that it came from somewhere. It's somebody else's property. It's stolen property, and you take the risk of taking it anyway. And that's what I did.
So even though the witnesses identified it was you that stabbed the one individual with a hunting knife and then repeatedly kicked the female in the back, demanding the money, you're saying that was not you?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. They in that situation, there was a Facebook picture that was shown to the defendants where my brother came to the halfway house and we had a picture together, and they identified us through that. But I want to make this clear. No matter that I'm saying that I wasn't there, anything that you have on paper that involves me in some type of way, I got to take accountability for that. I'm taking accountability. I'm not blaming nobody. Nobody made me do X, Y, and Z. If I was working like how you working, I wouldn't have been involved in nothing. So for me, I'm taking accountability for everything. And the only way that I can show that I've dealt with redemption and accountability is to never come back through these walls again.
Okay. And so one of the co-defendants was your brother.
Yes.
And so it would be difficult if you had a stipulation to not have contact with the co-defendant.
Oh, it's not difficult because I no longer associate with a lot of my family. My new family has become my significant other, my pastor, a couple pastors who are watching this today. And I don't have no friends, no family. I'm not going back to my old community. And so that will never happen again, period. My friends are more spiritual, and whoever going to come with me on this journey through God. You will never have to worry about me interacting with anybody that I don't have no business.
So your first adult conviction in 2003, when you were 18, was planning and executing another home invasion robbery with a firearm with a co-defendant.
I was guilty of that.
Okay.
I was guilty of that situation.
Okay, so you do admit to that, but even though the current are very similar, you say you were not there for those. Okay.
No, but the thing about this, ma'am, is this right here, right? Sometimes in dealing with these situations, even though I'm not saying that like my size, there's a video. So with my size, I've been like this since I was almost 15 years old. Everyone called me the the big dude from Blindside. Like I've been like this since I was I've been like this since I was a kid, right? And so my size is always able to show when dealing with other body figures, if I was present during the time. And sometimes when people put you in certain situations, you are guilty of something. So that's why. So for me, I'm guilty all the way around the board. I'm guilty. I'm taking accountability for everything that you have on paper, for everything that you're reading. I'm taking accountability for it. But for me, it's all about moving forward, and moving forward. It's about producing positive energy and learning how to be productive by all means, and not allowing no one else's actions to create a reaction to put you in a situation that can get me jammed up.
That's good. Because yeah, looking at your history, I mean, it's concerning, you know, and your history is very concerning, but that includes the DRs, including recent ones. But then, you know, reading the materials that you shared, and, you know, you do have the, you know, great vision for a program for young males, a program for young females, and other opportunities and things. So you definitely are looking ahead, which is excellent, and want to seem to have a positive impact in your environment. I just want to make sure that you're quite ready for that. You did take a lot of programs, which is excellent.
I think may I say this?
Yes,
may
please.
I think being ready, right? I know a lot of people come here and we want freedom. You know what I mean? We want freedom. We think you got to give us freedom. We want freedom. There's only one reason why I feel like that I can get an early start is because I dedicated my life to just being positive. I dedicated my life to the kids. So what you see right here, you're about to see on a lot of TV shows. You like, this is big for me. My transformation, me being able to transfer from being negative and put myself in destructive situations to becoming this positive figure. This is how important my transformation is. This is why I can impact so many young individuals, which I'm already doing. Which I'm already doing. I've been doing this for about 2 years now. And so for me, I can't sit here and say, scratch any of that information that you have before you. I want you to know that I'm owning all of it. But in order for me not to make no other bad choice, I had to go back to childhood so I could cut it off at the root. The reason why people think the way they think or act the way they act or create these habits, I had to go back to the root. And that wasn't a pretty sight, because you have to deal with things that a lot of people aren't willing to deal with. I still got more.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it's very painful, and there be bumps in the road, and it'll impact you and everything. But it's great that you're doing that hard work so that you can get to where you want to be. You said you've been already doing it for 2 years now, helping the youth. Can you tell us, in that capacity, have the youth programs in the community started already? Because your fiance is a great reference.
So what I've been doing is this. I believe that in order to run a business, in order to run a youth program, you have to build connection. You have to build connection. So what I've done is just use the resources of my future wife and my brother and a couple other individuals to use their own family, to empower their own family unit, their last name, whatever child is able to be encouraged, empowered. When we go to Walmart, what we do now is make sure that we pay for someone else's groceries, anything that we could do to empower, that's what we do. So right now, to this day, I have 892 applications with the $20 application fee. On top of me being able to help these youth develop a new mindset, I've created a work program, either through hair artistry program where you can become a young entrepreneur through doing hair or doing yards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it's a program operational, or it's just people have applied already, but the program is not running yet?
So right now I can't get it fully running because I am the common denominator. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
but yeah, so I have it to where even charging $15 to service a person's yard with them committing to a 6-month contract is only $360, but that's only twice that a landscaper will come out. So you get all six months for twice of what an average company will come out. The only thing that
there have been a lot of thought, you know, into the pricing chart and the proposed contracts, and there have been a lot of thought put into that, and and the proposing contracts of the investors and everything. And I just want to make sure that, that's the business side of things. That's good, because you need to do that, because running a business and owning a business and developing one, starting one from scratch is very difficult, but also very different from the self-work that this is really based on. So, and I want to go back real quick to the programs and to the DRs, though, because
it's not going to make sense. It may not make sense. You know why it may not make sense? Because being in this environment, right? So I got a pass. So even if I was on the street and had conflict with an individual coming through these walls, you're going to see people. And sometimes their reaction is going to be a negative reaction. So you can't control getting into a fight. The main thing that I'm working on right now is creating a foundation, not even just for myself, but for the future generation, for my nieces and nephews that I am in contact with on my dad's side, to give them a foundation where they can grow, be themselves.
Yeah.
And,
that's great. And I'm really happy that you have that. I just wanted so you had completed Addiction Services Tier 2 and anger management, domestic violence, new thoughts, and voices. But then at least 3 of your violent DRs, but you completed those programs before getting then intox tickets and some of the fighting tickets.
Yes.
So I'm just concerned that, looking at the programs you've completed, that's really good, but in terms of implementing it, and I understand what you're saying about when you're in that facility, it's tough because you don't have the entire freedom of movement to just remove yourself from the situation, but you're talking about your size, intimidating people, and people kind of coming at you. That can still happen in the community, and you have in your history, you do have assault convictions, breach of peace, violation of protective order, harassment. And again, this is your past, and I know you're moving forward, and you're thinking a lot about moving forward, and you're also reflecting on the past. But one way that we look at if someone is truly ready is the DRs and how they're doing in the facility. And so I just wanted to get at that. What are your plans for programming and sobriety in the community upon release?
Oh, so my pastor is a therapist and her daughter is a psychologist. Those 2 individuals are my go-to for getting even more treatment and more understanding of who I am and where I come from and how to deal with certain things. I deal with my pastor on a regular basis now. And then any resources that I need, they're right there for me. Sobriety, I don't have an issue with like drinking and stuff like that. But what I would do is go talk to my doctor to find out, because of the anxiety I got from when I got shot in the head, is it a safe thing to do, like to smoke marijuana or anything like that? But that was my only vice, ma'am.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, if there is an anxiety thing, it worked on hopefully through counseling, and I'm glad you want to talk to a doctor about it. But I could counseling certainly, or maybe some sort of anti-anxiety. But that would be the professionals to weigh in on that. So I'm glad you want to explore how to handle anxiety better, because you should be able to be comfortable. There's other things that counselors can do that help a lot with trauma and anxiety. Okay.
Do you have any recommendations for like programming that you guys offer, just so like that you make think will help, like even anger management? I think that I need to continue taking that. You know what I mean? And just keep getting a reminder.
Yeah. that is one of the things that we can stipulate. Your parole officer would, if you're a parole, and then if you're probation, you do a probation, then they would assess you, and they may have you do a mental health evaluation, and then they can determine and make reference for different programming. Some of the programs that we do, we can stipulate based on assessment, our anger management, domestic violence, problem sexual behavior, things of that nature. So, and mental health evaluation and treatment. So those are things that we can do, but okay, let me just see my questions real quick, see if I have any more right now. You've struggled in the community on supervision before. What do you think would be different this time?
I'll be 42 years old. I'll be 42 years old next month, July 31st. And when you're a kid, you do childish things, and even grown men still act like kids. For me, I have developed a sense of character that causes me to be open-minded, to be, conscious of the things that I wasn't conscious of before. Like even being in a relationship, I never was in a real relationship where I was faithful and knew how to be a masculine figure and taking care of a household. Now I have that opportunity, and my support system now, they're not going for me coming home and coming back in here. It's not that type of support system. This support system is built on me coming home and conquering and doing what I need to do without any error. There's no room for error. Like, there's no room for error. All that you're reading, like, there's no room for error. There's no room for one slip up. There's no room for that.
Okay, and then your fiance, she did confirm her willingness to sponsor you. When have you two dated in the community? How did you meet?
So we always knew each other, but she wasn't the type of woman that I could just be in a relationship with. She is a real serious individual and haven't had that many boyfriends, and she stayed to herself and handled her business. So she not playing no games at all. So the fact is, and she has an illness. She has lupus, and I don't know if you're familiar with that. She gets infusions, a couple times a month. She just had 4 over the recent month every Thursday. And she fight like hell every day to get up and do hair. She got 5, 6, 7 clients lined up, and that's what she's been doing for 20 years. So, her alone helps me to understand what hard work and perseverance and resilient is all about, and it's about having that proper foundation. I don't have not one person around me that I'm not supposed to be around, period.
Okay. Thank you. I think that's all I have for my questions. I'll see if my colleagues have any additional questions.
Thanks.
Sorry.
I get you. So Mr. Edwards, my colleague asked a lot of great questions. I don't have much. I'm always interested to know if you have planned when something goes wrong, right? And I hate to use the word failure, but I always believe that if you plan, if you envision what could go wrong, you can plan for it. So the parole officer asked you what would be a high risk situation, and I'll rephrase that with what could be difficult. So what do you think will be difficult for you returning to the community?
The most difficult thing for me returning to the community is getting my children to retrust me again, to understand that I am here to be their dad. You know what I mean? That's the most challenging.
Yeah.
That's the most challenging thing for me, because leaving your kids out there in a world that is cold, and that is the main reason why I had to get myself together. That's the main reason. I don't have no chances. This is my last chance. I hear people talking about second chances. This is my last chance. I don't got no more chances. I'll be 42 years old.
Children are a really powerful motivator. That is for sure. So tell me, when you think about your plan for the community, what do you think could be some obstacles? What
For the most
could maybe
part-
set you back?
Well, I don't think none can set me back. For the most part, even getting the businesses and the programs up off the ground, that was the most challenging part for me to get to the place where I'm at right now, because it's just me and my significant other. So, you know, I'm giving her the words, she's handling logos, she's printing. So those
Okay.
challenges where we waste almost $2,000 worth of ink and paper and getting rid of people and not having people come along on this journey. I can't be around my mom. You know, I can't be around my brother because at the same time, where family help, family also hinders. Family judge you. Family don't give you a shot again. So for me, you giving me a chance, it's not just about parole. I got to show my kids, first of all. And I got to be consistent for them. I have to be consistent for the women that have been by my side, that's there for me. I've learned how to be a one-woman man. Like, I don't want to be with no other female. I'm not coming home to get sidetracked. And you know, that's what guys do. That's what a lot of people do. But they don't understand the value. They don't understand the value of having a good support system. People that's there for you. People that will help you. And so I never had this type of help ever in my life. I never had a support system that I got right now. I never had it.
It does seem like you have a positive support system, people who believe in you. I like the fact that you want to try and reunite with your children. When you were on probation, when you committed these new offenses, when you were involved with these new offenses, can you look at that time frame and say to yourself, I can see where I started to veer off and not do the right thing? Can you see those triggers in your life?
Yes. And that's why it was important for me to go back to 6 years old when I stole a bike, right? I stole a bike from around the corner from my house. And I just stole the bike. Not understanding that me making that decision came with, now I got to tell a lie about where I got it from. Now I got to tell this lie. Now I got to do this. You know what I mean? Like, that right there for me was going back and being able to evaluate that little decision caused me to be where I am today.
So you're thinking that your triggers are not looking at the consequences.
The triggers that I had recently before coming in here, even while being in here, were not being accountable enough. I wasn't responsible enough. I think that I wasn't responsible enough. I wasn't accountable enough. I wasn't at this point where I'm rock bottom and I'm ready to be the man that I was destined to be. I wasn't at this point where I'm ready to carry God and to making the best decisions. I wasn't at this point where I had to sacrifice not having no friends. I got no friends. I have a relationship and I have a spiritual family, and it's just about business. So I don't have no friends.
All right. So you can't think to yourself, I look back at this most recent period of criminal activity and say, these were the red flags that I missed. These were
putting myself around, put myself around the wrong people, put myself in the wrong environments. You know what I mean? Participating in things, making rational decisions when not thinking about it.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I have nothing further.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Barry?
No question. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you, Mr. Edwards. So we don't have any more questions. Thank you for answering all of the questions we did ask. We're going to start our deliberation now. You're more than welcome to listen. Just please don't interrupt, and then we'll have our answer for you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Edwards, it's a challenging case. The crimes he's in for are very serious and terrifying. Violent, home invasion robbery. I'm using the word home invasion, but violent robbery, which with the conviction was larceny, and then the robbery first with firearm with the workers at the T-Mobile. He has taken a lot of programs, excellent programs, but as was referenced, he did receive additional DRs relevant to those programs after completing them, which has me quite concerned. He has quite a violent history. Although again, he took anger management and domestic violence, which should address those things, but I'm just concerned with the DRs that he's not 100% there. He, as we've heard, he's highly motivated. He has a strong, positive support network at this time. We did receive 4 at least letters of support from those, which of course are very helpful in reentry. He has a sponsor to return to. He has plans upon release. I'm just concerned that he's not quite ready yet to handle the challenges of release, 100% healthy and crime-free manner. And this is his last chance. He needs to be 100% ready, as anybody can be. Or if it goes sour, then he might lose those positive connections he's created and further trust from children. So I deny right now. See it left. 100% is next year. So yeah. And Member Berry.
So I do not have Mr. He sounds great. So let me start off with that.
Mhm.
It sounds as if he's really taken some time to reflect on his behaviors, and he has been able to develop a plan to avoid returning to prison. Unfortunately, his history precedes him, and the disciplinary infraction do not hold in his favor.
Yeah.
So at this point, I really am not sure if Mr. Edwards has demonstrated enough evidence of offender change to support his being released early. So I would not be in support right now because I am not in support because he rates out extremely high in terms of risk to the city, has a violent criminal history, and the tickets really are not indicative of a person who has demonstrated much change. So those are my views.
Yeah, I think we all sort of, 3 of it sound like we're reflecting on those disciplinary reports, and the fact that they come after taking the programs, it makes it even a greater risk in the sense that, he's taken programs that should address those behaviors, and yet here we are looking at fighting ticket and intox ticket. I think that Mr. Edwards appears to have tremendous support in the community. I'm happy to hear that he wants to try and reintegrate with his children. That certainly is a significant motivator in my view. He was on probation when the offense occurred, so there was opportunities for him to reach out and get resources to help him manage any stressors he was having or feelings. So for me today, I am not in favor of granting discretionary parole. I do think that there is some change that has occurred, but there's more to be done. He can, fatherhood is still on his list of programs. He can gain some more skills just in terms of work in the facility. But I think the disciplinary reports and the nature of them outweigh the programming that he's done, the positive programming. So I do not find him suitable as well.
So for our reasons, we have current offense committed while on supervision.
Probation.
I have poor institutional adjustment, definitely, with the 14 tickets, because that's what we focused on. We really didn't talk in depth about his being on probation when he committed the offense. I think we really spoke about the level of change that, I mean, that's just me. What I heard in our discussions, we also talked about his criminal history being one of the factors. So Those are the two that stand out to me. And they for the defense wheel of that, so.
Yeah. So
That's where I am.
I think I can agree with, current offense committee while on probation. I think the question about, asking him about.
Why he didn't reach out for
Yeah.
help while he was out there. Yeah. Well, he said he didn't commit it. He can do it. So that's part of the reason why he wouldn't reach out.
And then we also have to set special parole conditions.
Yes.
So, in the matter of Mr. Edwards, inmate number 296702, there is a motion to deny parole based on his criminal history, his current offense committed while on probation, inadequate evidence of offender change, the nature and or circumstances of the current offense, and for institutional adjustment. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, signify by
Aye.
saying aye. Aye. All opposed, none, the ayes have it. Mr. Edwards, sorry, we have been denied discretionary parole today. We were not able to get you there. We do see positive change. We really do. This is the last chance and we want to make sure you're completely ready. You're far along the way, but just not quite there yet. Hopefully you can do some more programming in the year that's left and then really be ready and come out healthy. We do need to set your special parole conditions on your release. I have no contact with co-defendant Demetrius Wilkes or Terrence Edwards without parole officer permission. No contact with victims. DJ, EG, SN, DF, SF, MF, and SM. General no, I had potentially general no contacts with the T-Mobile. I don't know if that's irrelevant, not relevant, but unnecessary.
I didn't have that.
And that's all I have. Is there anything I'm missing or?
I had no operation of motor vehicle without the parole officer's permission. It's that underlining racing on the highway.
Oh, okay.
And community-based treatment for anger management.
Good. With regard to Taiwan Edwards, inmate number 296702, there is a motion to set the following special parole conditions upon release. Behavioral management program for anger management. No contact with co-defendants Demetrius Wilkes or Terrence Edwards without parole officer permission. No contact with victims DJ, EG, SN, DF, SF, MF, or SM. No driving without parole officer permission. I think that's it. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. You're all set. We wish you the best of luck. You're on the
Thank
right
you. I
path, sir.
appreciate it.
Best
Thank
of
you. I
luck.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Take care.
This concludes the hearing for Taiwan Edwards at 296-702.
I'm sorry? Are you speaking to me? Can't hear. That's creepy.
No, I ain't getting copies, but, you told me to look for it.
Good morning. My name is Parole Officer Brian. Today is Wednesday, June 24th, 2026, and this is the hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. The following board members are present this morning by stating their names on the record, certify they reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
Eileen Keyes, good morning.
Morning, I'm
Good morning.
Councilmember Berry.
Deborah Smith Palmieri.
Good morning.
Also attending is the board psychologist. Please state your name and inmate number for the record.
Anthony Hebert, 447-886.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Anthony Hebert, inmate number 447-886. He's serving a sentence of 5 years flat for larceny first and threatening second. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of August 14, 2026. There's no victim input in this case. There's an offender accountability plan. It's been reviewed and shows the offender's completed the medication-assisted treatment program. He remains on the waiting list for an addiction services referral, new thoughts, a job assignment, vocational referral, voices, and anger management program. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the high range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Okay, thank you. What do you want me to say?
So
All right,
if you
Hi.
have, you don't have to provide an opening statement. We do have questions that we could begin with asking, but if you want to provide an opening statement on why you think you're ready for parole, you can share it.
I just want to thank you for your time. I'm ready if you think I'm ready. I'm trying not to let my past judge my present and my future, but you know, I'm just taking it one day at a time, trying to be a better person each day. So with that, we can continue. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we will begin with asking questions. We'll begin with my colleague panel member, Smith Palmieri.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Hebert. So
Mm.
I appreciate that you're open to get to questions. I guess what we're most interested in for today would be how you find yourself here, in Connecticut with a stolen car. And I see that you're participating in the MAP program. What do you think will be useful, helpful for you to be successful in the community?
Well, the correction, I completed the MAP program about
I didn't want to go on 1 minute. I was going to get a job.
probably about 15 months ago. I stopped taking the methadone. But what got me here was, I was relationship troubles, living situations. So I was just looking for an escape. I stole a vehicle from Philadelphia. Long story short, I had family in New Hampshire. I tried making it up there. I didn't make it. Unfortunately, I clipped the telephone pole, and I'm here. But a lot of the past obstacles in my life have been cleared for me. So I've been incarcerated here. It's been almost 2 years, so I've had a lot of time to reflect. So. Yeah.
When you say obstacles have been cleared, what do you mean by that?
Well, there was a couple of not custody battles, but custody arguments. My mother had custody of my children. She's passed away. So there was a restraining order that's been cleared. My children are being taken care of. I'm just trying to focus on my path, trying to get myself right so I can be a better example to my children. And, yeah.
Okay. You said are you in the MAP program now?
No, I'm not.
You're not?
I completed it at Walker before I came over here to McDougal in February of 25.
Okay. You score high on your drug assessment. You score a 5 out of 5. And you haven't done any other than the MAP program, which you didn't think it was all that helpful.
No, it was. I stopped. I got clean. I stopped taking it. So it helped me short term. I see a lot of people that take it are long term. So I took it. I saw what it was doing for people around me. It wasn't something I really wanted. So I just needed it temporarily to get me on the straight and narrow. When I first got in here. But yeah, I'm in the culinary arts program. I voluntarily signed up for the anger management program. I'm still on the waiting list, but all the other programs, I'm still waiting to start. So, you know, hopefully I can learn something.
Some marketable skills when you get out, something give you an opportunity to find employment with.
Yes,
Do you think you need drug treatment?
Yeah.
Maybe not for the drugs themselves, but maybe for the thought processes leading up to doing them. Maybe. Sure.
Some of the cognitive issues. And when's the last time you participated in any kind of treatment other than the MAP program?
Probably about 6 months before I was incarcerated, about 3 years ago.
Are you able to, when you reflect back at your time in the community, are you able to pinpoint some red flags or triggers that brought you back to a relapse?
Yeah, my so-called support, my support family, my support program, you know, which I thought was my support was really just a crutch. It was just people that I was allowing them to enable me. Basically, wrong family and friends. You know, those red flags. But they're in a different state now. I'm here in Connecticut. I've never been here before. I was just literally just cutting through to get to New Hampshire, and here I am. So I'm kind of separated. I know geography isn't always a cure, but it could be a medicine.
Sometimes it's a fresh start, right?
That's right. That's how I'm looking at this. I'm in no rush. I haven't started any of my programs. I doubt I'm probably getting parole. I got a lot still ahead of me. I've been here for almost 2.5 years, but this is only a stepping stone. I'm not here like a lot of these guys that are here for 20, 30, 40 years. So I'm trying to learn my lesson. I don't want to end up like them. I'm just trying to utilize,
Okay.
this time differently than usual. So yeah.
All right. And you still have some stuff hanging around from New Jersey. It's non-extraditable, but you still you will at some point have to venture back there to take care of that.
Yes,
Otherwise,
yes.
it's just going to continue to follow you.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure how that whole process, that the whole chain of command works with the non-extraditable warrant. I've never been at a state with a warrant from another state, so I don't know. But yeah, I will take care of it. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, so you've had some troubles at the facility. You had 3 disciplinary reports between May 2024 and April 2025, which is a little over a year ago is the last one. So it seems as though things have settled down.
I haven't gotten one since August of 24, I think. I've not gotten a ticket. My last ticket was at Corrigan Institution, and I was there 24 of August. That was my last ticket, a fighting ticket. I think, unless I got one without me knowing. I don't know.
Maybe it's a typo. It looks like April 2024, but then the date in advance.
It was able to, yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Saved by a
Yeah, there you
typo.
go. See? All right. All
Yeah,
right, but it
I'll
does
set
look
up
as though, does appear, go ahead.
Yeah, when I first came in, I was being a knucklehead. Like I said, I was coming down off. I was sober when I was arrested, but I was still in the mindset of wanting to get high, and that's why I got on the MAP program. And my mind was just scattered. But my first 3 months here in Connecticut were really turbulent, to say the least, with my personal issues plus my legal issues. But now it's all been. Now I don't like bringing on New Jersey, but New Jersey, you get a disciplinary in jail. It really does, they don't hold it against you here. It could really mess your time up. And I started to realize that, wow, I'm not saying it's okay, but you get a fighting ticket there. You don't even see the ticket half the time. They just separate you from the person here. They really discipline you for it. It can really mess your time up. Really,
Things happen for a reason. Sometimes it gives you an opportunity to think about how you're conducting yourself.
Right.
As I go through your file and your interview with the parole officer, I noticed that you don't have any support in Connecticut, and you're hoping for reentry services to help with your time in the community here and a relapse. And you've done treatment before. What do you think you need to do in the community in terms of your substance abuse and living?
Yeah, it's appealing to me just because of the style of living, and it's the only form of reentry I'm kind of familiar with. like substance abuse, reentry programs. I'm not sure what else out there is available to me, so that was kind of what I was grasping at. Because I have no family here, I have no job lined up, so I kind of have to wing it when I get out of here. So, and I'm planning on staying in Connecticut with the warrants. Even if I didn't have the extra warrants or not, I was probably gonna stay here anyway, just to get a fresh start. So whatever is available, I'll take advantage of. I'm not sure. I could be a little more proactive in reaching out and try to find out what's available. That's my fault.
I mean, I'm sure that you can get that started there at the facility. There's a number of programs that help with substance abuse in the community. A non-clinical one is CCAR. They offer recovery coaches and support. Do you have some goals for when you're back in the community?
Take one day at a time. Actually connect with community, other people. I'm not very good at communicating with people verbally. I mean, I'm getting a little better, but kind of always look for a shell to hide in. I mean, it's complicated because for the past 20 plus years, I was with a significant other, and I'm free of those shackles for the past 3.5 years. So it's kind of like a whole new experience for me. This me having my independence and my personal freedom. Not so much my freedom, but mentally. My children are pretty much grown, so I don't have custody of them anymore. So I'm literally focused on myself. So whatever I can do to focus on myself and get myself better, to be a better person. I know it sounds cliche, to be a better citizen, better, productive citizen.
Yeah, a contributing member of the community.
Exactly, not just being a taxpayer, but giving energy, in good deeds, I suppose. We'll see. But yeah.
How long have you been in the culinary program?
Only for about a month and a half. Just started.
You like it?
Yeah, I love it.
All right, Mr. Hebert, I don't have any other questions. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Councilmember Barry?
No question. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't think I have any questions either.
Mhm.
All right, so we will begin our deliberations now. You are welcome to listen, and then you'll have your answer during this hearing, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Smith Palmieri.
Thank you. I appreciate the frank conversation with Mr. Hebert. I think he understands. He's in a little bit of a tight spot. He's here for a stolen car van from Pennsylvania, which he readily admits taking, and and why he took it, and the fact that he was abusing substances at the time. He was homeless. He does score high risk to recidivate, and probably one of his main issue at this time appears to be his substance abuse. Other than completing the MAP program, which, as he said, helped him get clean, he still needs to address those cognitive issues that bring him to the point of relapse. So he does have 3 tickets, as he said. I'll use his words. He was being a knucklehead when he got in. He has since settled in. Positive that's happening for him appears to be the culinary program, which he's benefiting from. For today, I would not find him suitable for discretionary parole. I think there is some offender change happening, some recognition of what he needs to do to be successful in the community. But without having done an addiction services program and some of the other new thoughts that are on his OAP, I think that he would struggle with success. So for those reasons, I do not find him suitable.
And I agree. I did have him come back for a week, because I would like him to have an opportunity for supervision and to rebuild a life in Connecticut with the support of housing and programming. I think that might be healthy for him to continue on his own personal path. So I am over here, but I'd like to hear from Councilmember Barry first on your feelings on discretionary parole and be here.
Well, I would not support discretionary parole today. Unfortunately, Mr. Herbert has a history of violence in his criminal history. He said that he was the chains he were released with he and his ex-girlfriend. But the assaultive behaviors in, another state, coupled with his decision-making for me is extremely problematic. So I would not support discretionary parole today. I'm not sure if Mr. Herbert is interested in coming back before us for another hearing, because he didn't even say when he was interviewed that he needed treatment because he didn't want that to hinder his being released.
Mm.
So I would not be opposed to his receiving a new hearing. I think that he still has a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I'm also in favor of a rehear. I do think that it would be helpful to hear Mr. Hebert after he's done some other programming. And if he's suitable at the time, provide him with an opportunity for supervision and support through resources if that was appropriate at that time.
I had thought maybe June 2027, which would give, so it gives about a year to complete programming and about maybe a year and a half of supervision if he's granted.
Yep, I agree with that.
Okay.
Thank you.
And inadequate institutional program participation and criminal history.
Sound good? In the matter of Anthony Weber, inmate number 447886, there is a motion to deny discretionary parole due to criminal history and inadequate institutional program participation. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And ayes have it. Mr. Hubert, you've been denied discretionary parole for the following reasons: criminal history and inadequate institutional program participation. However, we will rehear this matter in June of 2027, at which time we do recommend that you complete any positive programming that you can, make use of this time, and don't acquire any more DRs, because that can really negatively impact. I'm glad that once you learned there was a consequence, you were able to change your behavior. I think that's a good sign, but the next panel, there's no guarantee you'll be granted at all, but it's an opportunity for you to show what you've learned, and hopefully if you are granted, you have some support to develop your own individual life in Connecticut. Okay.
I understand. Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
This concludes the hearing for Anthony Hebert, inmate number 447886.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, really sick. Yeah, we got one.
Morning. My name is Parole Officer Brian. Today is Wednesday, June 24th, 2026, and it's the hearing of the Connecticut Board of Trials and Paroles. Following board members are present this morning by stating their names on the record and certify they reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
Eileen Keys, good morning.
Good morning, I'm Panel Member Berry.
Deborah Smith Palmieri.
Also present, attending is the board psychologist. Please state your name and inmate number for the record.
Tavon Johnson, 359437.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Tavon Johnson, inmate number 359437. He served a sentence of 10 years, execution suspended after 3 years, 5 years of probation and following, for criminal possession of a pistol or revolver, interfering and resisting, and possession with intent to sell. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of March 6, 2026. There's no victim input in this case. There's an offender accountability plan. It's been reviewed. It shows the offender hasn't completed any programs during his current incarceration. He remains on the waiting list for an addiction services referral, education, a job assignment, a vocational referral, and a voices program. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the very high range of this recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe should be granted. Maybe.
Pardon me?
Why do you
I ain't hear the last.
believe it should be granted parole?
I feel like I should be given another chance because I got 2 kids that I would like to be there for, and I want to go home and get a job and take care of my life.
Thank you. Thank you for your opening statement. At this time, we're going to ask you questions. We're going to begin today with Panel Member Berry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Mr. Johnson, I'm going to start here. We really do want you to return to the community and be a father to your children and be a productive, contributing member of our society. Those are our aspirations for every person in your position. But it's your decisions that you make that cause you to return to prison. And I'm curious to know why you would choose, while on special parole, to sell drugs in the community.
It wasn't the drugs I previously got caught with. It was Percocets. I had just got shot around that time, so I was taking it for the pain in my back because I got a bullet currently in my back.
Okay, so you were not on special parole, I stand corrected, and you were on community release, but you were still on supervision, under supervision, right?
Yes.
So you weren't selling drugs?
No, it was Percocet pills that I got caught with.
Okay, so why then were you in possession of a weapon?
I just got shot recently around that time, and I usually had a gun to protect myself, honestly.
Do you realize the harm that you're being in possession of an illegal firearm poses on our community? While you feel as though you're protecting yourself, everyone else in that neighborhood or that community is at harm because you're not properly trained to discharge a firearm.
Yes, I understand that now, yes.
Okay. So why would you put the community in that kind of predicament? Like, I mean, I know, go ahead.
I was young and I wasn't thinking. I ain't had no proper guidance around that time. So, yes, as I'm looking at it now, I regret it. But at that time, I was out there still ripping and running. So I basically had that gun to protect my life because I lost a little brother to gun violence and I got shot 3 times. So at that time, I wasn't in that right mindset. I had PTSD, mental health. I was going through a lot at that time. So I felt like at that time back then, I felt like that was the right thing to do, to be honest. I'm from Bridgeport. There's a lot of violence.
Yeah, we want you to be honest. We really do. But I'm confused, Mr. Johnson, because you've been shot 3 times. You said your brother was a victim of gun violence and you need a gun for your protection, I'm not sure why you wouldn't try to return to a different community than in Bridgeport to avoid. I mean, eventually you're going to be shot and killed if that's, I mean, I don't even understand why people are shooting at you in the first place. Why do someone want you dead?
Because my previous charge was attempt murder. So when I did it 7.5 years, I had went to a halfway house in New Haven to get away from Bridgeport, and people started pulling up at the halfway house in New Haven. That's why I ran.
Go further.
And that's
go
when I
to
got
London. Go to the other side of the state. Why go to New Haven, which is 15 minutes away from Bridgeport, 20 minutes?
You know, I went to jail when I was 19 and I did 7.5. So I came home at 27. So I tried to go to New Haven. Well, I did go to New Haven and all the old stuff came right. It followed me basically. So I had to, at that time, I had to do what was best for me.
Well, what's best for you, wow, made you come right back to prison. I mean, you would, I mean, I understand you want to be close to your family, you want to be close to your children. I understand that your roots are in Bridgeport. I get it. I understand it. But if you truly want a change, I really don't understand. Like, choose something a little bit further away until you get yourself together. You can get yourself situated, then you can get your kids and you can visit your mother. You don't have to live in the same town as her. You know, people live in different states. Like, you have to have a different mentality. Go ahead.
So my parole officer, can I get my special parole changed to down south? Because I got family down south. But they were saying basically they want to accept me because my criminal history was bad. But I don't want to go back to Bridgeport, to be honest. I'm trying to change my life. Like, in order to change, you got to change people, places, and things. And at that time,
Eventually, listen, eventually you're going to run out of luck. I mean, it's only by the grace, you know, of the person that's the being that's overlooking your life that you're not dead today, because obviously someone wants you that way. So it's up to you to make decisions that will remove you from that type of environment. You know, but yet still you told the officer you want to go back to Bridgeport, which baffles me. I just don't understand. And going to another state may be in your best interest. To be honest, that sounds like something that you should consider. I definitely would feel more comfortable with your going to a different state, because at least that does give you the foundation for a new start. You know,
that's what I want to do.
But go ahead.
No, that's what I want to do. Go to a different state.
All right.
Right now, first, like right now in my life, I don't got to deal with none of them problems right now. I just want to go home and get my life together.
Yeah. Well, we want you to go home and get your life together too, but we also don't want you in our communities with guns that you don't really know how to properly use or clean, or you're not licensed to carry those things. You see police officers, you know, they shoot and kill people because of the situation that they're in, and we can't imagine that when you're trained, you know, we can't imagine someone in your situation will be able to avoid killing an innocent person. But let's talk about your underlying offense. You are on special parole currently. It is running background. It is slated to expire January 28th of 2031. And that's a long time to be under supervision. And I say that because you've struggled on prior releases. You've had 7 in total, and you've failed 6 of those. And then you come into the facility where we're expecting to see you change, some evidence of change in there. You haven't completed any programs, and you've accumulated, if my account is correct, and I know that they're combining your prior release because of your special parole, but it says you have 21 tickets. And since you've been back, I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a lot. I'll say that. So what's up with the tickets? Why do you feel the need to use K2?
With the intoxication, I lost my family member, so I was at a weak depression state of my mind. So I feel like that was the best thing, like the escape, because I'm like currently mental health, and yeah, that's why I use drugs. But
So are you, well, I see you have a mental health score of 3, which means that they're trying to work with you to get the right regimen and stop medication for you, but you're still using. Your last ticket was last month for Intox.
yeah,
So you can't do both, Mr. Johnson. You have to figure out which one is going to really help you. You can't do both of them though. So I mean, to be completely honest with you, you know, you were you were out in the community under community supervision, and you squandered that opportunity. I understand. Please know that I understand that you are fearful of your life. I get that, but that doesn't mean that you have to put other people in harm's way so that you're protected. So your decision making for me is problematic. The tickets are problematic. The weapon is problematic. So I'm trying to get at something positive since you've been back in the prison. Can you share with us something that you've learned, like your takeaway from this entire ordeal?
I learned just staying away from negative people. Like I only had a year, like, so I couldn't really do no programs. Like I was in a mental health group. That's one program I completed, but basically I had nothing on my OEP. And when I got sentenced to the 3 years with a year credit, I wasn't given the opportunity to get programs up because I'm in McDougal. Basically, it's people that got life in this jail. So I wasn't like first priority, like, and I signed up for programs, and they like you gotta wait on a waiting list, and that takes like 6 months.
Well,
So
you gotta
it was
stop
like,
getting tickets. If you stop getting the tickets, then that'll put you in a position to get into programs. But you've taken a ton of programs. You've taken programs before. I mean,
prior to the tickets,
go ahead.
prior to the tickets, I had signed up for programs, and I wasn't given the opportunity because I was on a waiting list for 6 months. So it was like I tried, but nothing never came my way.
You have to do better. You have to do better, Mr. Johnson. You have to do better for yourself.
I signed up for AA, NA, just to try and help my drug problem. And I was in the mental health group. That's all the programs I did.
Well, I would suggest that you remain there and continue trying to work on yourself, because the only way that you're going to be successful, Mr. Johnson, is if you believe in yourself. Do you believe you can do it?
Absolutely, but it's not no help in DOC. Like, it's not no help here at all.
But you had help when you were out in the community, and you still chose to make poor decisions. You've tried it your way, Mr. Johnson, and it hasn't worked. We don't want to see you in the prison. We want to see you get the help that you need so that you don't have to come back.
My problem with society was the drugs. That's all it was, the drugs.
Well, my problem in society is the weapons. Like, I understand addiction, but putting other innocent people at risk is criminal thinking.
That's
So,
understandable.
I appreciate your speaking with me, Mr. Johnson, and I have no other questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Why did you, I know you did complete some programming in the community under supervision, but you were referred for additional substance abuse programming. Why didn't you engage in those programs?
I did, but I only missed it 2. And them 2 programs I missed it, I had kids that I had to go pick up. So when you would get excused for 2 missed programs, they automatically kick you off the group. And at that time, I had to be there to pick up my kids from school, so I couldn't be there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this, childcare responsibilities and those challenges are definitely real. But your sobriety does seem, as you just mentioned, your big problem with drugs, and it does seem somehow you have to be able to prioritize yourself, and 'cause your kids can't be helped if you're back in here and you're not sober. And so, but I understand the challenges of childcare and everything too. You did acknowledge, alcohol and Percocets were a problem, but you didn't seem to think that the daily pot use was. Do you still think that's the case, or do you think marijuana use is also something that you should work on?
Yes.
I think the DRs and stuff, I think, yeah, some healthier coping mechanisms would be helpful for you, and you have been through a lot. So I think working with counselors to try and get you to a happier, more stable place will probably be the baseline for then building the life that you want for yourself and for your kids. I think that's all the questions I have. Panel member Mary?
I don't have additional questions.
Okay.
Thank you. I think you covered it all.
Okay. We don't have any further questions, so we're going to enter deliberation now. You're welcome to listen, but please don't interrupt, and then we'll have our decision for you shortly. Thank you. Member Barry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I really do wish that there was something that we could do to truly help Mr. Johnson get on the right path, but it's a decision that he's going to have to make on his own and be dedicated and committed to that change. The tickets, I cannot overlook the nature of the crime and his underlying crime. I understand exactly what he's saying, but in the same vein, I cannot condone his thought process or his weapon possessions because of what he's experienced. Even though I get it, I can't condone it. It's problematic. So for me, I don't find Mr. Johnson suitable for discretionary parole. He rates out high the disciplinary infractions. He was on supervision when he committed the offense. He hasn't taken any programs. So for me, it's a deny today.
What resource did you have?
For institutional adjustment, inadequate program participation, and evidence of offender.
Yeah, I agree with panel member Barry. I wish Mr. Johnson best of luck. He needs to, benefit all he can from mental health and addiction services so he can learn to deal, so he can better manage his feelings and his addiction. But there's just not a lot for us to work with here. Yeah, the disciplinary reports are really telling of, his motivation for change or lack of motivation for change. So I am a denial today as well.
For institutional adjustment, inadequate institutional program participation, are those?
And I also, did you say inadequate evidence of offender change?
Oh, I did not. Sorry. Thank you. I missed that. Thank you. In the matter of Tavon Johnson, inmate number 359-437, I move to deny discretionary parole due to inadequate evidence of offender change, inadequate institutional program participation, and poor institutional adjustment. Do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye. We need to set a special parole conditions.
And special parole conditions. I have no alcohol consumption, no contact with victim KC, halfway house placement, mental health evaluation and treatment as deemed necessary. Anything else?
Anger management.
I see anger management on there, but then I haven't seen signs of that actually. He cleared anger management in 2016 in the facility, and then his DRs, although he continues to get DRs, they were for substance use. I didn't see.
Well, the assault one could lend to the need for an opportunity for some skills, strategies for managing aggression.
I mean, it is a lot, but he has a long time too.
Yeah.
So, we want to set him up for success if we possibly can. And his going to another state, I think, would be beneficial for him. And if he tells us, I hope that when he's released and he goes to a halfway house, that he does he is able to go interstate, because that would be beneficial for him. I would certainly support that. So I don't know what the
Interstate.
Yeah, I don't know what they'll do when he's released back out, in terms of maybe he'll have to wait a few months. I don't know, but I would definitely support his going to another state.
Yeah, I would as well. Since what that contributed to his technical violations for sounding escape, and all of that was really people were trying to find him and come to him. We want to make sure he's safe and he had the opportunity to build his own life. Yeah, so personally, I would not do anger management, but if I'm outnumbered, that's fine. The conviction was 11 years ago, and I haven't seen signs of it since. But and I would think mental health could address whatever the underlying issues are. But if you both want anger management, I know that had been a prior stipulation, but I just didn't see the connection to any recent behavior. But if you both want anger management, then I'm fine with that.
I think he could benefit from it.
Okay.
I think mental health will address some of the issues, but he'll be in a group with others. I think it will help him manage himself through with these enemies or these people that are out for him, so he doesn't respond in aggressive, violent ways.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're discussing this decision, but we also neglected to discuss the fact that he is on special parole, and the special parole is currently running, and that his release date as of today is his estimated date is July 29th of 2027, and we're acting, we understand that he's not done with special parole until 2031, but our intention is for him to complete the remainder of this sentence and then go out on special. So and estimated date 7/29/27 will be the release date.
Yes, thank you. And did I mention halfway house placement? I don't know if I actually said that.
You said what?
Condition. Did I mention halfway house placement as a
Yeah,
condition?
you
Okay,
did.
thank you. I just didn't remember saying it. Okay, thank you. So with regard to Mr. Johnson, inmate number 359-437, there is a motion to set the following special parole conditions upon release: no alcohol consumption, behavioral management program for anger management, no contact with victims, initials KC, halfway house placement, mental health evaluation and treatment as deemed necessary. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right. Thank you. We have, I'm sorry.
And his special parole date
Oh,
needs to be.
oh, thank
we have
you.
to, I think, say that on the record.
No, we did. We did. We said
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I have that. Okay, thank you. Sorry, so we do want you, go ahead.
You'll receive all of this in writing, is what I was going to say, with the dates and everything.
We will release next year. And just hopefully you can take programs just to help better prepare you for release. So when you come out, you're on a stronger foot, and you can prepare for your reentry plan and see if you can work on going to another state if that's where you want to go. So we wish you the best.
This concludes the hearing for Tavon Johnson, inmate number 359-437. Good morning. My name is Parole Officer Brian. Today is Wednesday, June 24th, 2026, and this is a hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. The following board members are present this morning by stating their names on the record. Certify they've reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation of this hearing.
Aileen Keys, good morning.
Good morning, I'm panel member Barry.
Deborah Smith Palmieri.
Also attending is the board psychologist. Please state
Good
your
morning.
name and number for the record.
My name is Juan Carlos Ramos. MA number is 304687.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Juan Ramos, inmate number 304687. He's serving a sentence of 5 years flat for violation of probation and criminal possession of a firearm. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of February 19, 2026. There's no victim input in this case. There's an offender accountability plan. It's been reviewed and shows the offender's completed tier 2 and is currently participating in the medication assisted treatment program. He remains on the waiting list for an addiction services referral, an educational referral, a job assignment, a vocational referral, and a voices program. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the very high range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Why should I be granted parole? I think I learned my lesson. I did some stupid mistakes in my past. I've been sober for a couple of years already. Think that's it. Think that, I learned my lesson, I just learned my lesson, that's all.
Mr. Ramos, I saw that you have a ticket in November of last year for intox. So how have you been clean for a couple of years?
Actually, that was actually I was too high on my dose. I'm a methadone dose. I was too high on it, so when they saw me in my room dozing out on my dose, so they brought me in to the nurse, and they never I told them to do a urine test. They never did it, so that's why they gave me a ticket. I wasn't gonna plead to it, but sitting down in segregation for more than 10 days, it was too hard for me, you know what I'm saying? So I just cop out to it just to get back on population, that's all.
Okay, thank you.
I just brought my dose down too, so now I'm from 80 right now. I'm on 30. I'm on 30 right now. So
Okay, great. All right, sorry about that. Thank you for your opening statement. So we're going to begin with asking questions now, and I'll start today. Thank you for answering my colleague's question, actually. But so you did share in your interview with Officer Bryant that you used to struggle managing your feelings of anger. And you did have a history of violent DRs, but you have not received a violent DR in a while. And your last DR was November, the one we were just discussing. So you do seem to be doing
a little better with anger. What strategies are you using to manage your feelings of anger?
It's been hard, you know. Well, first of all, I've been like stepping away from any type of argument or anything. I just step away. I used to just I think a friend of mine, you know, I was young. I was young and dumb, you know. I was young and dumb, you know. I grew up. I learned how to step away. If anything is like red flag, I just step away. Yeah, that's what I do now.
Okay. And when you step away, do you do any sort of calming things, or do you not really need to as long as you remove yourself? Breathing?
Yeah, I do a lot of breathe in, breathe out, walk away, put some water in my face, and just, you know, stay away from everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
You shared you completed treatment at the APT Foundation and that you loved it. You had said you really liked it. But in your violation of probation warrant reports, it said you failed to comply with treatment at intercommunity healthcare in Hartford in 2023. Can you explain what happened when you were in the community and you didn't complete the programming you were then referred to after APT?
Yeah, well, my girl died while I was out there. And since I was in treatment, I already completed treatment in the APT Foundation. They always wanted me to just keep going and keep going and keep going. Well, I was good, you know. I never gave them a positive. I wasn't giving, you know, I gave all negative in any type of way. So they wasn't like trying to hear me. So I was standing on my 2 feet and telling the judge that, you know, I didn't need the treatment, you know. I didn't need the treatment. But yeah, so I got violated because my father-in-law, he put the license plate, the car stolen, even though it wasn't a stolen car. So that's why I got violated.
You violated because you're saying the car was not stolen, but your father-in-law put a different plate on the car?
Yeah. Actually, I was using the car without permission. That's what he said. My father-in-law, he's almost 82 years old, so sometimes his mind is. So that's why I got violated.
I do have, though, that you tested positive for drugs, for cocaine and fentanyl, April in 2023. Is that?
Yeah.
And was that? And I know you did not complete the programming at Intercommunity Healthcare in 2023, but you're saying that you were good. Was that positive test before or after APT Foundation?
I don't think I was. So I was in the hospital. I had a problem. I was actually using. I had a problem. So since that day on, since that day I got cleaned up. I almost lost my foot. I almost lost my foot using drugs. Yeah. And since that day, I just stopped. I said that's it. I didn't want to use no more drugs. That's it.
So so you were in the hospital due to an injury, something because of drugs, almost lost your foot. And you're saying since then, that's when you said you got sober. So was that must have been after the April 2023 drug test?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you feel? So you're in MAT now. You're going. What are your plans with the MAT program, and what are your plans for sobriety?
What's my plans?
Yeah.
Well, my plans, you know, stay in the program, stay in the MET program. While I was, if I get back to the community, just, you know, keep going the program. And so go back to work, you know, be close to my family.
And your job? Oh yeah, you were working as a barber. Can you return to that? Do you have your barbering license?
Well, I got a certificate. I don't got the real license. I got a certificate.
Okay,
That's what I got, you know what I'm saying? So,
for the
and I got
training,
that, yeah, just a little training, yeah.
can you get the license in the community, do you think?
Excuse me?
Like, can you get the license? Because you were working as a barber under the table, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's all my life. I've been doing that since I was 17 years old. I've been doing that. That's all I do outside. That's all I do. I just never had the chance to go to a school and get my diploma and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And people do well without, some people can do well with just a good vocation, and without a diploma, but I think it'd be helpful for you if you had, a license so that you can do it legally, you can pay taxes, which I know paying taxes stinks, but then you get Social Security when you retire because you've paid into it. So, and if you're under supervision, having a legal work is part of supervision. So, but if you have talent as a barber, you've completed the certificate training program, that would be good. Do you have, aside from barbering, do you have another job you could return to?
I do a little bit of mechanic, a little bit electrician, even though I don't got no license, but I've been doing it. I learned everything in DOC. I'm sorry, I learned everything in DOC.
Okay.
In Puerto Rico, they put me to work, so I used to do everything, electricity, plumbing, so everything that I had to learn it was from DOC.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell us, can you tell us what happened that led to the criminal possession of a firearm conviction?
Well, that happened in my room. I was in a rooming room, and it was a bad rooming room. A lot of drugs, a lot of stuff going on. So, I was in my room, and somebody tried to break in my room. So, I know I was supposed to carry a firearm. I wasn't on probation. I wasn't on nothing. So, I know I should not carry a firearm without license. But I was scared of my life, so I started firing the gun I didn't hit nobody. I didn't hurt nobody. But then a couple of days after that, I got arrested. So.
What about, did you hit somebody in the head though with the firearm? And don't mention names, but.
If I hit somebody in the head?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you said no one got hurt, but that.
No, I'm done. Yeah, I'm talking about when I shot, I didn't, yeah. I hit somebody that was actually, when I opened the door, the guy was there. So I just hit the guy with the gun, that's all.
That's pretty serious though, right? I mean, no one got shot when comparing it to shooting people, but hitting someone with a firearm is.
Yeah.
And then, can you tell us about, you were arrested in 2021 in East Hartford for assault to and disorderly conduct against your roommate. What did you do there?
So my roommate, he got mental. He don't got no mental problem. He's just an addict. He was an addict too. He's an addict, and he stole stuff from me. So me and him, we had a little confrontation inside the room, the apartment. So he actually, he see my finger. He cut my finger. We had a little altercation. That's all.
And what did you do?
Oh, I had to defend myself. I punched him.
Did you use a weapon against him?
No weapon. It was just my hands. It was big. It was just arms, just hands. That's all.
No, a billy club?
No.
And did he owe you money? Because it's, the reports were he was in his room with his girlfriend and you busted in the room and started beating him, saying, "Give me my swear word money."
Well, actually, yeah, he stole my stuff, so that's money. He's supposed to pay me my money for that. You know what I'm saying? So that was the problem with that. I had anger issues at that time. I'm sorry. I'll be honest with you, since 2000 and I think 3, since I had that problem with my foot, I said, you know what, this is it, you know?
So you have had 5 opportunities at community supervision before, and completed one of them successfully. What were your experiences with community supervision? Why did you struggle so much?
Well, I also had PTSD, you know, I had all that stuff too, you know. When I was a child, I was abused. I was child abused when I was a child by a priest. Actually, he was my coach. I used to play basketball. I used to be a good football player when I was young. And that had actually destroyed my whole time when I started getting bigger, you know. And that right there, that started when I wasn't a bad kid, you know.
Yeah.
But since that day, he used me as a tool. That really killed. That really killed me, you know.
Yeah.
That really hurt my, you know.
Yeah.
I opened up to my family in 2006.
Good.
I was only 10. I was 10 years old when that happened, you know.
Glad
So
you told your family. Have you ever gone to counseling to help you with that? 'Cause- yeah.
yeah, I did contact. I did, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I got depression.
Are you denying to participate in mental health treatment now in the facility?
Well, they not actually. They didn't want to give me my medication that I really use in the world.
Yeah.
Because the people here are using it for stupid stuff, you know. They're abusing it, and I don't gotta pay for that. So they're trying to give me some other medication that's not working for me. But it's been a while that I've been good, so you know I'm trying to live my life without medication. But I would love to keep seeing a psychologist and a psychiatrist just for my, you know, problems and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no child should go through that, and so you didn't deserve that. No child should go through that. So helping you to cope with that would be really helpful for you, I would think. And then, but certainly also being incarcerated and everything else you've been through, having a counselor, someone you can go to and open up to would be really helpful. Do you think, is mental health offering you counseling as well and you're not participating in that? Or because the medicine, you're not getting the medicine? Or is it just that they're offering you medicine and that you don't want and you're not taking the medicine?
No, I just told them if you're not gonna give me my medication that I'm supposed to get from the world, I'm just gonna do it my own. I'm just gonna do it on my own. I go to church. I participate in church. You know, I just finished my audition service program for my OP, Material 2 program. I just finished it. I got a good offender work performance from the program, from the MET program. I mean, like, I don't have no positive, you know. So I've been isolating myself in my room, go eat, but you know, with certain people, you know, just trying to get away from. I want to be back with my family. I need my family in my life, my daughter. I ruined my youth. You know, I'm 49 right now, and I need to go. Yeah, I need to go back and be a father and be a grandfather. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to see if my colleagues have any other questions. And then we'll enter into deliberation. Member Berry? Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. So, Mr. Ramos, what is your relapse prevention plan other than going to the MAP program in the community?
My relapse I like to talk to my own people, like I like to keep myself,
Worked.
people who claim, you know, I'm trying to step away from, I don't want to be around all that negative stuff. I don't want to be around that.
All right, well, I heard you tell my colleague, and she pointed out that you had done well at the app program. Have you explored any kind of sober programs? Doesn't have to be necessary a clinical or a treatment program, but have you explored things like CCAR, for example, or going to NA or AA meetings to give you some of that added support when you're struggling, like with grief, you know, or you're having some troubles with your mental health, maybe somebody that you can get some advice from, or a good place to go for you?
I heard about that. I heard about, you know, C card and all that stuff. I heard about that. I got a good communication with my mother. She's a Christian woman. My sister, she's also a Christian woman, and that's my support.
Okay. Well, family is always great support. However,
Yeah.
sometimes family doesn't always, you know, they don't always see things the way an outsider might. And you need a little bit of a socialization. So places like CCAR or meetings, sometimes they offer an alternative for family, an alternative for other people who are seeking the same kind of thing as you, sobriety, goals of being sober. Have you ever done that?
I never had that before in my life. Never.
Okay.
I'm open for anything, you know, as long I could, you know, because right now when I go out there, I'm by myself, so I gotta work and get my apartment and get my stuff together. You know, I don't mind. I'll be open for anything.
Yeah. Well,
Anything that I rejected when I was young and I was in that time.
yeah.
I'm open right now for anything. I need it. So.
Well, that's my point. Sometimes, you know, you need to try things a little different. Add
Yeah.
something that you haven't tried. If it doesn't work out, well, then that doesn't work out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you doing the same thing that you end up back there at some point, you know, so you got to change the trajectory at some point.
Yeah.
Okay.
True. Yeah.
All right.
I'll
Thank
take
you,
that.
Mr. Ramos.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Okay. Looks like we're all set with questions. We're going to enter deliberation now. You're welcome to listen to us. Just please don't interrupt, and then we'll have an answer for you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So Mr. Ramos is here for a violation. He has underlying history of violence, although, as mentioned, I don't see real violence in his current history. And it seems to have,
You said you don't see more violence?
in his current history, like very recent, like in a facility.
Okay.
He does, however, score very high in his likelihood to recidivate, and alcohol drug score is the highest it could be. He was on community supervision on probation at the time and had 2 violations of probation leading up to the termination of probation in August. He has struggled on community release. I did not see any anger management programming despite a history of violence, and his underlying offenses were for violence. I don't like that he has a flat sentence, though. He does say he's been sober, and he's obviously participating in the MAP program, which is helping, seems to be helping him. He does have some support and has some work history, although under the table, but I'm concerned with the willingness to ask for help and connecting with help outside of family, but grateful he has his support network. But I think he could benefit from counseling. I think he would feel better on counseling and him not participating in it when it's offered. I understand the frustration and of not being able to access medication that was helpful that he wants. I think it's wonderful he wants medication
We
to
recognize
help him.
that he needs the medication. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a step.
Exactly. Many don't, but I'm concerned with the decision-making by not participating in counseling, which could be helpful. So I am a deny at this time. I'm hoping he can complete his OAP. I'd be open to a rehear, maybe in a year and a half, to hopefully provide some support during his reentry, since it is a flat sentence.
So I appreciate all that you've pointed out. I mean, for Ramos, he does score very high for risk to recidivate. He's here for a violation of probation for failure to comply with treatment. He had a new arrest. And this is not his first violation on this particular violation. It all seems to stem from his substance abuse. I do look at Mr. Ramos. He seems to be willing to continue with treatment in the community, whether that's mental health and substance abuse, and also the MAP program. He does have support in the community, as you pointed out, through his mother and his sister. He can earn a living. He's a barber. He needs to not work under the table. That's not going to help him in terms of his stability in the community. He did complete the Tier 2 program. I am willing to vote Mr. Ramos to discretionary parole today. I think that he can benefit from community programs. It would be a continuation of what he's doing in the facility. He can go back to his mental health treatment. And I think that the time on supervision could be beneficial for him. I understand why he doesn't have supervision, because of the prior violations and his history of struggling out there. But I do think that through the support that he has, his continued treatment in the community, there is offender change.
Barry. Thank you. I can understand both of your positions. I honestly came in here today with a question mark. I wasn't really sure how I was going to vote, but after listening to Mr. Ramos, he really does sound as if he aspires to have a different life and live a clean and sober lifestyle. Unfortunately, the disciplinary infraction that he just received in November that says that he was using is concerning to me. And I'm not there in the facility to be able to gauge, whether this was an error or, he pled guilty to the ticket. So in my opinion, that was the last time that he used drugs. So, given his extensive criminal history, all stemming from his substance abuse, I would like to see more clean time. And while he's in there, being clean, I think that he can continue to work on himself and make some more progress in terms of his criminal thinking, perhaps a new thoughts, a voices program would be helpful, and it has taken these programs in the past, but a refresher course would be good. I would be willing to rehear him, maybe in a year, to give him some time to come up with a viable relapse prevention plan. And he's had the same support in the community, his mother and his sister, and for some reason, he still continues to struggle to stay clean and sober and utilize the support system. As you were saying, Madam Chair, when he's out in the community, he was on probation. That's another source of help. And my issue with the problem with asking for help is that I heard him say on more than one occasion that he isolates himself, that he deals with it his own way. And he's tried that already, and it really has not worked. So I wanted to come up with a better plan, a better relapse prevention plan, a better release plan so that he can avoid returning to prison. So my vote will be to deny today and be here. I hope that I've been clear about what I don't want to negate any other work that he has done. He sounds good today. It sounds like he's moving in the right direction, but based on his history, I think that this is more work.
Okay, so are we here in 1 year?
That's right. That's what I
June 2027.
that would give him a year if he's released.
And denial reasons.
His poor institutional adjustment, he's received 4 tickets since he's been back. And he has completed his criminal history, which is what we've all talked about. So I would do those 2.
Okay, and I did also poor performance on community release. It's 4 out of 5. Then
Yeah.
and we will note that you are.
Yeah, I'll go on opposed, although I'll be happy to see him come back for another hearing.
Okay. In the matter of Mr. Juan Ramos, inmate number 304687, there is a motion to deny discretionary parole due to his criminal history, poor performance on community release, and poor institutional adjustment. We'll rehear this case in June of 2027, at which time we recommend that you participate in any positive programming, develop a relapse prevention plan, and not earn any additional DRs. Do I have a second?
Second.
Favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Mr. Ramos, unfortunately, we do recognize the progress you've made. This was a difficult decision. Just want to make sure that you're ready. Hopefully with a little more time, you can work on a relapse prevention plan, reach out for support, research community programs, maybe to be interested in. You liked APT Foundation, just have more supports, more plans for that, asking for help. It just sounded like maybe a little bit of the same of what you've been doing before. And we just want to make sure that you have more tools in your toolbox. So hopefully we'll see you in a year and you'll have a great relapse prevention plan, no more DRs, and some more programming you can share. Wish you the best.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
This concludes the hearing for Juan Ramos, inmate number 304687. Morning, my name is Parole Officer. Today is Wednesday, June 24th, 2026. This is an indeterminate life sentence review for John Evans, inmate number 86273. This review is being held in order for the board to determine whether there's enough mitigating information since the last denial to warrant a new parole consideration hearing. Board members, please state your names for the record.
Aileen Keys.
Panel Member Barry?
Deborah Smith Palmieri.
At this time, the panel will now deliberate and provide their decision for the record.
Thank you.
Okay.
And Member Smith.
So with Mr. Evans, so I've reviewed the current documents, the current DIS that sets forth all that has occurred with Mr. Evans since the last hearing in 2020. For the record, he's been denied 4 times prior to this. And essentially, it has all come down to a lack of programming. His mental health has not been stable. He is currently participating in mental health, working with mental health services. He appears to be doing, from what I could review through the documents, doing what he needs to do for those services. His health has declined somewhat, it seems. However, in a total review of the documents we have for today's hearing and looking at the prior documents, there doesn't seem to be any mitigating information that's come to light since the last hearing that would warrant bringing Mr. Evans forward for a full discretionary parole hearing. But I'm open to discussion for that if my colleagues see anything differently.
Thank you. Member Barry.
No, I agree. And I show that he's had, would be his 6th hearing. Some of them were administrative hearings, but he was denied with no new hearing very early on. And we've been conducting this case of these administrative reviews to determine, as panel members that primarily stated, whether or not there's any mitigating information that would warrant his coming forward to a full hearing. I agree that there is none. We understand with a denying no new hearing that Mr. Evans' cognitive abilities and his ability to move around, they're all going to decline because he's getting older. So, like those are not reasons to in this forum, right, to grant another hearing. So, I too am a no.
Thank you. I also am a no. I did want to make note that, as you mentioned, his health is deteriorating, and he may at some point become eligible for compassionate release consideration based on those issues, but that is not, as you said, the focus of today's review. So for today's review, for this review, I am also a deny.
So I just have to make the motion.
Okay, so I make a motion to deny Mr. Evans, inmate number 086273, a new parole hearing date. Try the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. And then he'll be administratively reviewed again in 5 years.
Thank you.
This concludes the indeterminate life sentence review for John Evans, inmate number 86273.